Am I going live? Yay, I'm live. Oh, let me get the link for my patrons so that I can put this out here. Post new. Good thing I had that tab open. Live stream. Use YouTube Live. Type or paste. Oh, it worked. After show. Cohn and I want to schedule. Hey guys, who's up? Join me live. Publish now. That should work. That should do it. Let's see if anybody comes into my live stream. Okay, and there's one person. At least I shared it. Hello, good evening. So I heard since I posted my Danielle Cohn video, and please excuse my wet hair, I'm sorry, it's bedtime. I heard that the guy that I told people about who was a creepy McCreepster in Hollywood, his name is Marty Weiss. He apparently is on Twitter talking about how he's changed and mean tweeting Corey Feldman. I can't even think about it. I can't even watch or look. I don't know what I would say to that guy. He's a monster. And if you missed my YouTube video or my YouTube live stream about that very thing about Danielle Cohn, the 13-year-old girl being exploited, then you would have missed a story about this guy, Marty, that I met in Hollywood on a set and knew instantly what a creep he was. Breaking my rules and having a diet soda. I really needed one because I was working hard today. But that's the first diet soda I've had in weeks. And I hope I'm not up all night. I won't be. I really needed energy. I really did. I just wanted to treat myself because I've been so good. There's some junk food in the house. And once I'm not eating all that junk food, I'm really good about not missing it too much. But I really wanted pizza and carbs and things like that. Like tonight, I was just kind of craving breads and things that I don't eat. I can't eat. So I figured, well, I'll give into one of my vices and I'll have a little diet soda. And that turned out to do the trick. I didn't need anything else after that. I felt like I had gotten a nice little treat. I'm looking forward to going to bed and doing some reading because I haven't been lately. I've been going to bed and I will get like a page down and fall asleep with the book on my hip like my mother used to do. Where are my other readers at? And let me know what you guys are reading. I'm going to read your comments on Patreon, of course. Oh, I should check there and see if people are leaving comments and maybe just can't get in or something. Let's see. No. Oh, I should refresh. I haven't refreshed it. No, it is so late. I'm sorry I'm getting this up here so late, but I will do more videos this week, probably tomorrow, actually. I might try and go live again tomorrow. See what the day's chores hold. I got ahead of the game today because just as I was going to go outside and mow the lawn, it started to storm. And next week I'm going on a little road trip, but there will be a camera with me. I've got some surprises in store, and you're getting that exclusivity here on Patreon. Watch for my channel next week and see where I'll be. It's not Houston. Houston is going to be early November. And thanks to all of you, I won't have to just eat, the fast food at the gallery. I'll be able to stay to my diet. Did you know your dollar is saving a life? No pressure. It does help me. It really does, like more than I can say. You have to get my ring light, and I forgot all about it. I've been really forgetful, and I know that comes with age, but I've been really forgetful. My hair smells so good. Just smells good. I love the smell of the shampoo. Yeah, I've been really forgetful and, not quite able to go to bed anyway. And then when I do sleep, I sleep fine. I've been in some pain. Sometimes pain wakes me up. That is so Debbie Downer, I know, but there are some nights there's no comfortable position. And I like to be funny all the time. And that's why I don't talk about chronic fatigue on my other channel, because I don't want people to feel sorry for me. And I still feel that way. I am able to laugh. Humor gets me through everything. So, oh, that's the cat brush on my bed. This is the guest room. I don't know if I've said any that here, but this is actually not my master bedroom. But because it's the guest room, I can make it a little girlier. It doesn't have to be so his and hers, uh, as I've promised my husband. And actually, my style is not so girly. That bedspread is from my mother-in-law, but I like a hotel look, like a B&B or a boutique kind of look. I'm a frustrated B&B owner. That's one thing about me. I would love nothing more than to have people come in and, feed them. I should put this link below. Here's something a lot of people don't know. I've hosted people on couchsurfers.com. Is it couch surfing? Couchsurfing.com. I've hosted, let me look it up which one it is, because I don't want to give you the wrong one. I haven't looked at it in a while. I think it's couch surfing. Couchsurfing.com. And I have my profile on there where you can see people have left the nicest comments about staying with us. And I did it when I was in Los Angeles, which of course you could host every night in Los Angeles because it's so popular. And I did it when I was in Ohio, in Orville area. No, yes, in the Orville area, we hosted a guy from Australia who's going around the world. Because I couldn't go around the world, I brought the world to me. But in recent years, it got to be a little too much for me because it's a lot of work. Having people in the house is a lot of work. You have to cook and clean constantly, the bedding, everything. I clean under the bed in case anybody has allergies. I just don't want any dust bunnies. I want everything perfect. And I loved it. But it did get to be too much because it was, people coming and having to do a lot of work that got to be too difficult for me. You have to do the bedding before and after, etc. And I just don't have that energy, but I really enjoyed it. I met wonderful people. I mean, wonderful. A couple from Romania, a kid from South Korea, which just thrilled me to have somebody here from South Korea because, that's where my heart is. So, and actually, I spoke more Korean than he spoke English. I had no idea how he was going around the country not speaking English. They have to learn it in high school, but it's like the way we take a language in high school. I learned more Spanish in a month working in a restaurant than I did for 2 years in high school. Because you learn it cognitively when you have to use it. Oh, there's 2 people. Thank you. 2 thumbs up, please. So yeah, that's kind of weird. I wonder if people found my unlisted link and are not actually patrons, but they're watching. That's okay. We're not going to be sticklers. I don't see anything on here. Just making sure nobody's trying to comment to me on Patreon. There's one person there. Oh, let's see who it is. It looks like I've got a notification. So yeah, I don't know how I got into the couch surfing thing, but I'm really, really random on here. I hope that's okay, but it's kind of a nice, intimate setting with Patreon. You feel like you're sitting across from somebody and having a conversation. And I have to do this in the day tomorrow, so there's more people around. I'm definitely going to go live so that everybody, if you're around, you can talk to me. And right now, I will set that for 3 p.m. Pacific Eastern time. And I will give an update or confirmation at noon to let you know that I'll be on at 3 p.m. And that's a good time because usually I'll have the dinner going by then. And, we can have some nice casual conversation. But yeah, that was Danielle Cohn. And then tonight I uploaded a video on Onion Boy. And I have to tell you, I usually avoid talking about people I truly dislike. Because you go to that place, it's okay to dip your toe in it, but you don't want to live there. And I found myself going to this place of hate, and hate is no good for anybody. I'd much rather talk about people that I don't think are intriguing. Hey, 100 days at a time. Hiya. I was just saying I'd much rather talk about people that I don't hate, but feel, there's something to learn from with their behavior or something that I can add. Usually people, and some people were like, "Are you going to talk about James Charles getting puppy?" No, he was really good to the puppy. There's nothing to say there. Jazzy, hi. Yay, you figured it out. Jazzy Jerica. Oh my gosh. Onion Boy is so creepy. And I was wondering, I just posted a video on YouTube tonight. I was wondering if he was a danger. And I was reluctant to say this, but he has more than a few times over the years, because I thought it was just before he started his channel, but there was one recently that I clicked on to see that he was talking about. Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Who are you on Patreon? Sometimes I didn't even think of that. I didn't even notice that. I feel like I've seen it. I feel like I've seen that. But anyway, I was saying he's been talking about suicide, this guy, and I didn't want to automatically make people think that I think somebody who says they're suicidal is going to be a mass shooter. You got to be careful what you say. And I didn't want it to sound like that, because certainly I have dealt with depression over the years. A lot of people have. I just see real problematic behavior from him. And with him in particular, because of course these things are case by case, I really have been getting this vibe that he could be dangerous. Like even the way he's laughing is what is referred to in psychology as an inappropriate response. If you say something tragic, or if you say something horrible, or if something bad comes up and a person just bursts out laughing, that's a sign of an issue. I have a feeling that if you gave him, the personality test, some things wouldn't come out quite right with him. He's got problems. And the kids thing is a mystery. Do they really have kids? I never know. They're kind of a phantom. They're kind of real. Are they his kids? Are they kids that she brought into the relationship? Because that whole thing is weird. No. And I probably should have stated that in my video, Jazzy. I do not think that, if you mean by will anything come of them, will he be prosecuted? No. He can't, because he was very careful in that he waited till the girls in question, he waited until they were 18. So for him to say that they were in his house from the time of 16 on, no, legally nothing will happen to him. In the court of public opinion, he's tried and guilty. Those are the girls we know of. Yes. And there could be more, but as long as nothing inappropriate happened, he was careful. But I think it's creepy as hell. Like the husband wife saying that nothing ever happened, and then there's videos of her cuddling with this young girl in bed. Like, what the hell? These two are so disgusting, and they've always triangulated people. And then remember, she went public because she told him he shouldn't fool around with this girl, but he did anyway. And then he's making a whole video. His videos where he apologizes are actually almost creepier than the ones where he's self-righteous. The ones where he's just oh, I was wrong and it doesn't matter. I didn't have a right to do that. Yeah, that's a lar pinch. Those ones are disgusting. There's no good way. I just find myself really glad there's a lens in between. And have you noticed, by the way, he's getting older. He's getting a little long in the tooth compared to when he was younger and had these little 13-year-olds fangirling over him. He's not, let me put that on a show. When he had these girls fangirling over him, he was a little more interesting to them. And now he's got to use the bright light and he's kind of referring to himself as old. These people who think 30 is old crack me up. Honey, you're going to blink and be 50. Yeah, they are weird. They are definitely weird. Something's up with those two. And they're always on the prowl, aren't they? And flying people into their state. And just, before he even moved there, where he lived, he's looking up the state laws to see what's legal. I think that he has some serious problems. What kind of person would be with him this long? And is it me, or has his husband, changed since she's been with him. It seems to me like he got together with a young, fresh-faced kind of, girl next door, very pretty, happy, smiling, and now she when she smiles, it's like him. It's just a weird response. It's not like joy in her eyes. Her joy is gone. She started wearing the boy clothes like everybody else at his behest, you can be sure of it, and has changed her persona and now says she wants to be a guy. And I feel like all of this is this slow stripping of the will, what it's like to live with a crazy person and just become another inmate at the asylum. Hmm. It is getting weirder and scarier. I've heard about him. I remember before 2007. I remember when he first came on the scene and he was doing the I'm a banana stuff, and it was just, yeah, she could be drawn to chaos, that woman. Um, I couldn't stand him. I was like, this guy is not funny. Why is he everywhere? And he would just do these smarmy, smug, stupid stuff. Then there was a period of time where he was just really falling off the radar for people. It just seemed to decline very fast. And I actually remember clicking on a video or two of his and thinking he was kind of funny at moments. And I'm like, oh, is he changing? He had his video that he was trying to change, and I become kind of interested in human behavior, and then watched him just go right back to making fun of people and stuff. Uh, Jazzy, I think he got popular because back in the day, he was a little bit more edgy. His comedy was a little more polished, but he was different, and people were very young looking at him. And so he made people believe he was their friend. He was kind of attractive for 5 minutes there. And that was that. The stuff about Danielle is so freaky. It is so freaky. And in case you didn't hear, in my video where I was talking about her, I was live on my channel. I talked about this creepy guy, Marty Weiss. Somebody told me he's on Twitter now talking about how he's turned it all around and changed since he got out of jail, and how he is now sending nasty grams to Corey Feldman, who accused him. That little girl, she is headed for the pole. I'll just say it right here because I can let my wet hair down on Patreon. I want you to get your dollar's worth. She is headed for the pole. I'm not laughing because it's tragic, but it's the expression itself. I mean, you have to find humor in some of this stuff. It's just disgusting. Oh, it could be. Well, the pole can lead to other things. Going down that road, next thing you know, she's working at the bunny ranch. I think people get addicted to money, and her mother has definitely told her, here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Why didn't I think of that song? Ruined by plastic surgery before she's 25 and just generally used up. Yeah, and she looks like a normal little girl in costume, doesn't she? Like she's with the big hoop earrings and the weird, like it's like she watched a Pussycat Doll video and she's just, there's girls who are supposed to emulate that and dance around in their room, and that's fine at that age. But this girl does not have one shred of innocence left, and she's 13. She is completely sexualized. It's disgusting. And the mother is creepy as can be. I've seen her in a couple of videos. Fake, loving the attention, loving the spotlight. She just, the whole thing with the plagiarized note is unconscionable. Having her little girl, posting those things on behalf of her little girl. I agree. There's a special place in hell for her. How could you do anything? Listen, I'm not applying for sainthood or mother of the year. I have things that I feel guilty about as a parent, and they're nothing compared to that. But I sometimes wish I could go back and do some things differently, or I think of times where in my mind, I put my personal pain before my child, and maybe leaned on him in ways that I shouldn't. But when I tell you it's minimal, it's minimal. I mean, I love my son so much. The one thing I can get right in life is to put him first. Yeah, my parents were awful. My dad died when I was 6, which I think was like the worst kind of abandonment. It's very rude of him. And my mother never had any use for me. And my mother used to get calls from the school. This is really funny because she was the opposite of this girl's mom. My mother got a call from the school in kindergarten saying, "Are you aware of your daughter's voice?" Because I could sing very well. And then she would get a call from the school saying that I could dance very well. And they put me in Irish step dancing, and I was a champion. I went up against kids who did it for 9 years, and I was in 2 feshes, and I won 2 first place medals. A little known fact. I'm bragging. But my mother did not encourage these things. And in 6th grade, they called my mother and said, "Your daughter is ready for Broadway. She should be going, on auditions if this is what you want." My mother not want anything about that. And then in high school, I won the debates between the 2 schools. And I found out later because I became friends with one of the girls who was the judges from the other school who had been an exchange student, that I was the number 1 pick for the foreign exchange program and could have gone to my choice of countries. And I was going to choose Sweden. There was Sweden and Australia. I was leaning between the 2, but I was going to go to, Switzerland was the option. And I was going to go to Switzerland. But my mother would not go to the meeting where they wanted to just meet her and get her approval. She wouldn't do it. My mother never encouraged that. And you know what? I think to myself, if that didn't happen, it wasn't meant to. It wasn't meant to. My sister, who was an actress, flew me out to St. Louis. She was an acting professor at this point. And she flew me out to look and see at the school. And while I was there, they said, "We're going to take you on a little audition for practice." Her and my brother-in-law was an actor. My brother-in-law at the time, who is divorced from my sister now. God, that got ugly. But anyway, they took me to an audition that was just supposed to be for practice. It was this thing called Factory Theater, and it was a professional theater company. And he's like, everybody wants to get in. And I sang, I danced. They gave me a thing to memorize, and I memorized this soliloquy from a play that was like written for me. I loved it. And before I left, they said, "Carrie, hang on." It's 3 people up in the balcony writing, "Are you going to be in St. Louis this summer?" And I said, "Well, if I have a reason." And they had 3 productions in mind, and they wanted me for all 3. 2 of them were leads. And my mother said no. I missed my calling. I'm still waiting for them to call back. They did. I've got YouTube now. I'm the star of my own show. Don't think for a moment that that's why I put my son in the business, by the way. That's why I held off putting him in the business. And I had a talk with the woman who became his agent, and I said, I'm a little concerned that I'm doing this for me because I will enjoy this. I know I will. And she said, "No, he's not doing this for you. He wants to do this because he has your DNA, and this is what he likes. He likes performing." And she was right. And that's why we signed with her. And as a result, my son had the time of his life. And I did, on some level, live vicariously on some level. I didn't, put my happiness first. I would give it all up if it wasn't something he wanted to do. You headlined on the Vegas Strip. That's insane. That's awesome. You're a star. That is really cool. I sang for weddings. I was in a couple of plays and loved them. Loved musical theater. I charged the stage when an Elvis impersonator was singing and grabbed the mic. That is awesome. Do you have pictures? Oh my gosh. That is so funny. Fun fact, I was born the same exact day as Lisa Marie Presley and Pauly Shore. But the other part of the story is when we turned 25, she inherited Graceland, and I didn't even get a friggin' Hallmark that year. Nothing. My friend was like, "Of course she's up there," and didn't bother. You are hilarious. That is the best story. I don't have a story like that. I have a story when I was singing karaoke one time, and a guy took off his clothes while I was singing. I could see him around the corner. I'm like, "Is that guy taking off his clothes?" walked up to me naked, and just before he got to me, they grabbed him. And this is the part of the story that you really like. I rarely tell this story because I'm like, nobody's going to believe this happened. But there was a girl with me named Julie. She knows this happened. And I was singing The Spy Who Loved Me by Carly Simon. They grabbed this guy. Half the bar didn't even notice it. And I, without skipping a beat, because I have a parody savant ability, I sang, like heaven above me, some naked guy just walked up to me. And there was a table of people, and they lost it. They laughed so hard. And I was like, I just did comedy. I made people laugh when I was on stage. I never had the guts to do comedy. I used to be in an improv troupe, and that's as far as I could go. But I would write jokes for other people and let them say them. It's super hard to get thrown out of places in Vegas. Really? Not leaving, Jazzy. Don't worry. You are excused. Is it really? So like you could misbehave and do all this crazy stuff, and it's like, it'll just stay in Vegas. If we throw you outside, you're gonna be they're very lenient. Oh my gosh, you are a scream. You should have been thrown out of so many places. Okay, we have to do a meet and greet in Vegas because I want to see some of these stories. Or have you mended your ways? You only got thrown out of the Tropicana in a taxi. Oh my God. That is a scream. Oh my God. So you're like in a different place now. Yeah, but you're probably still a pisser. Oh my gosh, that is funny. My friend Daria, when I was younger, she was kind of wild. This has been a weird week. Like I've been getting calls from people from the past completely out of the blue, like 2 days in a row. And like people having weird and similar problems, but like women who I never knew to have any problems are suddenly contacting me with problems, and I can't even believe it. You don't drink anymore. So it was the booze, like it was what was your drink? Was it like tequila? What made you wild? Anything? I have booze here that I haven't opened up. I was gonna do a tipsy tea time at some point. I had to use this for a joke, and I bought this Chi-Chi's Long Island iced tea, and I don't know when I'm gonna open it. I might take it on a trip next weekend because we don't really drink in this house. We just don't. I don't love it. I don't, and I certainly don't like the way it makes me feel the next day. So really, I could have a glass of wine once in a while. It's good for my blood sugar the next morning if I have just a little cheese and wine for dinner. I find my blood sugar's down, but I don't really like the taste of alcohol. So your husband is your best friend. Oh, that's awesome. And your partner in crime. That is awesome. That's great. That's how it should be. My husband is my best friend too. And we do a lot of laughing. Oh my gosh. I always say marry for funny. The times you got thrown out were with him. So you guys were dating and having a good old time. Did you guys have kids? I didn't know what to expect if you did. You're breeding fun. That is so funny. I don't think I've ever been kicked out of a place ever, but I've done wild things. Married 8 years. Our problem was we had to grow up fast. So we had to go to Vegas like a first big trip and want to look crazy. Okay, that makes sense. We didn't turn out to be a breeding pair. That makes perfect sense. I never, my brother and his wife made the decision. Oh, you're married 24 years? Me too. Just had my anniversary. My husband, what was I going to say? I totally forgot. That is amazing. My brother and his wife chose not to have kids. And sometimes, do you ever have these situations where you feel like the only person who has manners? Why do people not get the memo about obvious stuff? If you know a childless couple, don't push them to have kids. I don't get it. It's your business. My brother and his wife knew they didn't want children. They're teachers who make a very good living, unlike a lot of teachers, and they chose not to have kids. They travel. My brother said for him, he knew it was something that he wouldn't. He would just disappoint the kid or something. Everybody has their reasons. I never once said, "Oh, come on, have kids," Or, oh, you too. Well, if you have kids, like drive the point home. My niece decided that she never wants to have kids, and in her mid 20s, um, made sure she can't. And she's deaf, but she just always knew she didn't want children. That's personal. And the thing is, you tell them all about your uterus, your cervix, everything. Well, here's the thing: once you have a child, I mean, aside from them always coming first, there is this thing in the world that I can't lose. I cannot live without him. If something, I mean, I could live if he had to live somewhere else, distance wise, but I can't live if he didn't. If anything ever happened to my child, I'm not somebody who could get over that ever. I wouldn't be able to ever say a word. I know getting to a dark place, but my point is having a child is having worry, but it's also personal. And if I didn't have a child, I would still, you know, take care of children like other people. People seem to have this misunderstanding that childless people don't know what it is to have instincts and love something. It's true. The first time they put that baby in your arms, everything changes, but it's not something that's not within people to understand anyway. You can have an understanding simply by having hormones. You can have baby fever whether you hadn't. Cats is parenting. Being an auntie and uncle is a type of parenting. You are nurturing. You are parents. You just chose not to have children. You can still exercise those parental muscles in great ways. You just get the love, and you know you just can lavish that on other things, and it's your choice. So weird when people get personal and tell people what to do. That makes me cringe. So, how many cats do you have? I have two now. Oh, that's a good number. Oh, gotta share pictures with me on Patreon if you can post them. You put them up there. I love to see people's cats. I'm so weird, and I like ours. Yes. Hi, Jazzy. You're back. I waited for you. One of them is an Instagram star? Really? One of your nephews? Can we know who it is? It's a secret. Yeah, it is. I do feel that it's a nice, intimate little circle, Jazzy. Um, oh, your cat's an Instagram star? Shut the front door. Who is your cat? I mean, maybe your cat is one of those cats that when they get so many followers, they don't respond to their fans. That happens. Do you ever notice that with YouTubers? Like, a lot of them only talk to bigger channels or reference bigger channels. Lately, whenever people reference people on Twitter or talk about drama channels, I'll see my name mixed in with some heavy hitters. And I'm like, they know I don't even have 10,000 subscribers, right? What are you? Don't include me. He's gonna be. Does he have what kind of face? Is it a smushed in face? Is it like a grumpy cat face? Oh, that's so cute. That is cute. He's gonna be Instagram cat famous. Oh, we lost our tuxedo cat October 1st. It's coming up on a year. And it's so sad. My son got him when he was 10. Yeah, yeah. He was just got so sick, but he had a long, happy life with us. We got him when he was a kitten. He and Zach grew up with each other, and he was obsessed with Zach. He was a beautiful little guy. And tuxedo cats are very interesting. He wasn't a snuggler. He was a lone wolf in a lot of ways, but you could hold him sometimes, and he definitely would like to sit on your lap. That part he liked, and was very affectionate and sweet. But he really preferred Zach. His happy place was with Zach on his lap or on the back of his chair, like they were roommates as far as Tux was concerned. And that's what Zach named him when he was 10. Tux. As far as he was concerned, Zach was his human, and that was their room. So, The one I have two now, and one is really old and not doing very well. He's got a heart murmur. He's got thyroid, so he has to have medicine every day. But he's still with us. He's going to be 15. He's a tabby. He's getting skinny though. His cat was Tux, and he was bummed. So I'm really glad that Willa, if you've heard the espresso machine, that is Willa. She's the silver tick tabby that was a phantom in the backyard and so freaked out by humans that it took me months and months and months to get near her. And now it's full conversion. You'd never know. She loves everybody. It's the most rewarding thing. Probably one of the most rewarding things I've ever done is convert a feral. And now I've converted a few of them. And I feel kind of like a cat whisperer. But to convert a cat and have it, because a feral cat in your yard is alone. They're susceptible to so many bad things, but they're also alone. So for this cat to suddenly like humans and get closer and closer, the moment it clicked and she realized she could trust me, everything started to change. And now, like, she'll get brushed. She lives such a better life. She's happy. She's been to the vet. She's, she's just, they told me that she has these nodules. And so I paid for surgery. She went in for the surgery. She comes out and she sounds the same. They said that they think they retracted. They don't know. They weren't there, but they still charged me for the surgery and then said she has to go to a specialist. Well, who the hell can afford that? And she seems content. She doesn't seem, she just kind of, sometimes it's better than other times. I notice somehow when it's warmer, she sounds better than when it's colder, and you'd think it would retract. Oh yeah, she sounded like that. It's very common for outdoor kitty cats to have respiratory issues. She sounded like that outside. I don't know how long she lived outside, but they checked her for all of the diseases. They gave her shots. She had been vetted. She had a little scar on her belly. She had two tipped ears. You know how when they trap, neuter, return, they will tip one ear. Well, they think that that it was what is it, frostbite. So she did have a tipped ear, but they were both kind of missing a tip, and it'll look pretty symmetrical from frostbite. And poor thing, she was just I think I fully believed that she had kittens, and that's why she was trapped, neutered, returned. I just spent $800 to find out my other cat has a mild chronic constipation and gastric reflux. Wow, that's amazing. That is a lot of money for that. Yikes. It's just pricey to have animals, and that's why I probably won't have any anymore. And the ones that are outside, there's two. One's feral, one was feral, and I converted her, and now she lives on. I have a back deck, and I've made that really nice and cat friendly for her. She has her own cushion. She has she has a little heated house with fleece in it. I converted my garage into their home for feral cats, and so the big feral one that won't let me near him, but usually like with the dinner bell. He lives in my garage, and they get along. They don't fight or anything. She probably because she's female and she's the most mellow cat. She used to be really feral, but now that she's so well fed and so well cared for and vetted and all that stuff, she was also fixed. When before I came along, I kind of have wondered if people are dropping them off in my yard or around my house, because when Willa came in, suddenly there was a vacancy sign up. How are they finding my yard? I almost feel like one of the women knows. Yeah, I'm a big fan of indoor cats. I think it's safer for them and everything. Um, but there's only so many I can take on. And so I have the two in the back. The one in my backyard, the black one, Lizzie, the one who's a converted feral, she will be out there probably right now because it's 12:41. Right now, there are either raccoons or the cleaners, which are the opossums, pointy kitty. They coexist. One of the, pointy kitty eats out of my hand now. It's amazing. Yeah, I was asked to take a pet too, Jazzy. I took someone's bird, and I had to keep him separate. He was really old. I was taking care of an old lady, and she had to go into a nursing home. She was 91, and I think her bird was about that old. It's like a 20-year-old cockatiel. So I took him in until he passed away. Um, oh, wow. A pregnant stray and everybody takes a kitten. Oh, that's nice. There are a lot of people where I live who will go around and trap, neuter, return. And what I think happened with Willow was that she had kittens, and Planned Parenthood will take the mother and the kittens, and then they take the kittens, they fix the mother, and then they release her because they're not going to put her down and they can't find anybody for her. So they just take her back to her colony. Somehow this cat was in my yard. And then now Lizzie. And now there's Oswald, we call him. He's black and white. And yesterday he finally got close enough where I could see he's a black and white cat, but he has a black bow tie on his neck. His front black hair comes down like perfectly like this, and then he has the bow tie on his neck, so he's pretty fancy. They do find us. I swear they know where suckers live. Oh, have you seen those YouTube videos where people foster kittens? Oh, I get so envious. I have a friend right now who's fostering some kittens, and I'm like, oh, I want to just hold one. The one I rescued, I put a little video up of, and I I had her in a foster room downstairs before I could take her in. Thankfully, she was adopted right away because she was so cute. She was a little cute thing that was out in like 9 degrees. And I found her just after Christmas and brought her into the house. I had to set up a foster room. So now I have a foster room that's supposed to be my sewing room. But I wanted to spend so much time with her. I didn't want to do anything else but spend time with her. If you lost one, you couldn't handle it. Yeah, you do wanna keep keep them all. Like, I let her go, you understand how the foster thing works. You say, "I love you, goodbye." But I still, like, sometimes I kinda miss her, but I was just so glad she got a nice home. This was so much fun talking about drama and cats and Vegas and everything else. I really enjoyed this chat, and I'm glad I stuck around so people came on, but I am going to sign off because it is 12:44. But we'll do this again. I'll go live tomorrow, and hopefully everybody else will get a chance to chit chat. So, Jazzy and 100 Days at a Time, you guys both have a wonderful evening, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Good night.